Did pretty good in April.
Dateline, Bristol, Tennessee. Rusty Wallace and his Miller Genuine Draft crew combined forces for a dazzling display of discipline. 4 tires and gas in just 16.1 seconds. He leads all but 24 laps and easily notches another win on the Bristol banks. Dateline, North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Pontiac Power pulverizes the competition again. The First Union 400 finds fellow drivers walloped by Wallace as Rusty registers his second in a row. Dateline, Martinsville, Virginia. Dominance is hardly adequate to describe this effort. Rusty runs away for 409 of 500 laps. Everybody was trying to cool off this rapid racer as the month of May arrived.
But now we're at Talladega. Got to watch out for Davey because he's an Alabama guy and he's always hot here. But Earnhardt, he was strong at Daytona, and I look for him to do good. But I think we're going to do real good.
Rusty was doing fine until the last lap. A side-over-side, end-over-end crash spoiled a possible victory, but he still finished 6th, airborne, upside down across the finish line. The crash resulted in a broken left wrist and other bruises and bumps. It could have spelled the end of his championship bid. Dateline, Sears Point, California. No stopping Rusty. Even with the wrist injury, he's ready to resume the Winston Cup racing wars.
The world's leader in motorsports coverage is live at Sears Point Raceway in California for the Save Mart 300 NASCAR Winston Cup race. Beautiful weather here in Northern California. Not a cloud in the sky and nice warm temperatures. The Winston Cup point standings. Rusty Wallace, who suffered that devastating crash 2 weeks ago at Talladega, is still on top of the points by 86 over Dale Earnhardt, who's on the pole here today. Davey Allison is third. The real battle in the top 5 is for 4th, just 1 point separating Dale Jarrett and Kyle Petty. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to Sears Point, our first road course race of 1993. When you think of road course racers, you think of Rusty Wallace or Ricky Rudd or Ernie Irvan, but maybe you should think about Dale Earnhardt. In the modern era, there have been 30 road course races. He has finished in the top 10, 22 of them. But he has never won a road course race. This could be the day. And how about Rusty Wallace coming back after the injury he suffered at Talladega? Is he ready for 300 kilometers here on this tough 2.5-mile road course? For more on that, let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Bob, the good news is Rusty Wallace is here at Sears Point and has qualified his Pontiac in 6th starting spot. But who can forget the horror 2 weeks ago when we left Rusty? He was catapulting, somersaulting, tumbling across the start-finish line at Talladega Motor Speedway. Now, he underwent surgery on his left wrist just 12 days ago at Indianapolis by Dr. Terry Trammell. He has a pin in the wrist, and he's wearing a carbon fiber Kevlar cast which is hinged at the wrist so he can handle the steering wheel. That shouldn't be a problem. His ribs, still sore, may be some concern. Now, if he does have a problem and needs to get out of the car, they've got 1991 Trans Am champion Scott Sharp standing by to relief drive. Now, we might mention that Terry Labonte, also injured at Talladega, has real problems. He has the 1992 Trans Am champion Jack Ball is standing by to relief for him. So it could be a super sub afternoon at Sears Point. Bob?
Thank you, Jerry. Let's check now the starting lineup for today's race. On the pole, his second straight, Dale Earnhardt in the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, qualifying at 91.838. Alongside, from Chesapeake, Virginia, Ricky Rudd in the Tide Chevrolet car number 5. Second row, Jeff Bodine in the Motorcraft Quality Parts Ford Thunderbird car 15. And Ernie Irvan in the Kodak Film Chevrolet from Modesto, California. Third row, Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, the Valvoline Ford. And Rusty Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac number 2. Fourth row, Wally Dallenbach, a great performance. 7 drivers broke the previous track record. Starting 8th will be Ken Schrader in the Kodiak Chevrolet, car number 25. And let's take a look now at the rest of the starting lineup as the drivers are on their second parade lap. We should get the green flag next time around. You see Davey Allison starting there in the 5th row. And how about Jeff Gordon in the 8th row? P.J. Jones starting in the 7th row in his first NASCAR Winston Cup race. Dorsey Schrader starting in row number 10. as the cars come down the straightaway, which leads them to corner number 7. This is an 11-turn road course that they'll compete on here this afternoon. Many of these drivers are from the Winston West Series that also join the Winston Cup competitors when we come to the West Coast. There are 43 drivers that will be starting in today's race. There were some provisionals. Bobby Labonte had to take a provisional. Also, Herschel McGriff and Rick Corelli. Well, that, Jarrett, looks like you're set for a day at the beach out there near turn 7.
Well, it might look like I'm at the beach with all this sand behind me. They put it there to stop the drivers if they slide off the track, and many of them do here in turn 7. They come in here at a high rate of speed and then shift down into second gear into a flat turn. And you see a lot of slipping and sliding here. Pretty good place to pass if they can outbrake someone coming into the turn or set your opponent up going off the turn and out accelerated. That's two ways you can pass here, but many times we see a little bumping going on while they're doing that. Now, there's another place on the track that they can pass pretty well, and that's down where Benny Parsons is.
That's right, Ned. Turn 11. All you got to do is outbrake the guy, get in the corner, get under him. He has no choice. Well, he does have a choice because the entry in this corner is very wide. Sometimes they don't know you're there, and they cut across you, and both cars will spin out. Or another place, coming off turn 11. If the car in front of you slips, get under him, accelerate past him. The problem is the Winston Cup engine builder's been working night and day. They've got over 700 horsepower. You've got to be easy with the throttle, otherwise you can nail it and spin out as you come off turn 11. But either way, you're going to pass them in or off, maybe.
Benny, I suggest that you head for higher ground because the next time they come your way, they will be under green. The pace car leads them down to the start-finish line. We should be underway here in just a moment for 74 laps of racing at Sears Point International Raceway. Dale Earnhardt leads the field down slowly. Ricky Rudd is alongside. Now the pace quickens and the green flag comes out. Jumped the field at the start and had to go clear to the back, but he came on to win that race. He didn't have such a reoccurrence this time. Dale Earnhardt took the green flag first and is leading as the rest of the field files up through turns number 3 and 4. Now they will go downhill into turn number 5 and turn 6 and then go on to the straightaway. Leading to turn number 7, and Ned, you should be able to see.
Indeed we can, Bob, as we go into the speed cut under the Goodyear Bridge, and you can see how fast they're running coming into the through as Rusty Wallace making a pass coming through the turn.
This is a very high-speed section of the race course. S turns. Now they're headed toward you, Benny.
Here they come. Earnhardt still in the lead in that pole position. There goes Wally Dowling back and Rusty Wallace. This is turn 10 where Tommy Kendall the other day lost control during qualifying and wiped out the number 7. And here's our new cable cam following the cars down in turn 11. And Ricky Rudd trying Earnhardt on the outside. Did not make the pass. Now he's going to try him on the inside and try to out-accelerate, but the Goodyear Chevrolet a little bit too much horsepower, Bob.
He cut the rumble strips there in turn number 11, but could not take the lead away from Dale Earnhardt. And so Dale continues to lead with Ricky Rudd running in second spot. Jeff Bodine is in third place, and in fourth is Ernie Irvan. And we're now riding with Tom Kendall in the Alan Kulwicki Racing Family Channel sponsor machine. Here's John Kernan in the pits.
Bob, as Benny said, Tommy wrecked the primary car on Friday. They had to put that back in. That was the road course car built specially for this year with all the legal tricks that you can have for a road course. So they had to pull out the backup car, but it's a pretty good car, too. It's the car that Allen ran 5th with most of the day here last year until he got a speeding ticket late in that race and wound up finishing 12th. But Tommy also injured his ribs on Friday, so Jimmy Hensley, who drives the car normally on the oval tracks, is here. He practiced yesterday afternoon, and if Tommy has to come out of the race car, Jimmy will be standing by to give relief.
And we have a pass there for third position as Ernie Irvan got